Hi, everyone, and welcome. Today, I have the honor of interviewing Joel Lopez, who represents Embryotech today on on answering the 5 key pandemic questions. Before we launch into the questions, I wanted to ask Joel to give a brief introduction of himself and Embryotech.
Hello, my name is Joel Lopez. I'm the Senior Vice President and General Manager for Embryotech Laboratories. Embryotech is
Please enter the extension that you wish to.
Sorry, can we start again? Sorry,
Absolutely. We are going to be able to edit this anyway, so feel free to start.
I just put do not disturb on the phone, sorry.
Okay, sure.
So my name is Joel Lopez. I'm the Senior Vice President and General Manager for Embryotech Laboratories. Embryotech Laboratories is a ISO 17025 accredited test laboratory and for good laboratory practices for non-clinical studies, Title 21 CFR 58 accreditation program. So Embryotech provides services for the assisted reproductive technology industries and laboratories, providing test quality control assays. The Embryotech laboratory scope of accreditation includes the mouse embryo assay, human sperm survival assay, human SMA, SPA, SMA, and CASA systems. So the scope of accreditation includes toxicity and functionality testing for raw materials, media, and devices that are used on the medical industry, and specifically any device that comes in contact with human gametes. Embryotech also provides all kinds of stages of cryopreserved mouse embryos or fresh embryos, and those are mainly used for universities or IVF labs to conduct quality control themselves.
Well, thank you for that introduction to Embryotech and explaining your services. I'm sure our members are well aware and engage with you and interact with your company as well. We are very happy and grateful for the support from Embryotech, and in kind of our capacity as a society that has gone virtual, I think it would be wonderful to get some of your insights on our 5 questions regarding the pandemic. So I'll just begin with the first one. What has been your greatest challenge in managing your work during the pandemic?
So I think that the greatest challenge has been caring for our staff. Have definitely been our main priority. But I think I have struggled a little bit on the circumstance of drawing that line in between preparation and fear concerning COVID-19. I think, however, this time we have been very, very proactive in communicating from the beginning and frequently with the team regarding COVID-19 symptoms and prevention. So that's paramount because we can have, unfortunately, any alternative work arrangements due to our work nature. So it's definitely paramount that every employee put on their part to keep the organization open and running by preventing getting sick themselves. I think that has been definitely the greatest challenge.
Absolutely. I think so many of the responders as well in the hospitals feel the same way in terms of staying as safe as possible during this time. It's been very important in the choices that we make and on a day-to-day level. Thank you. The second question we have for you is, have you been able to find any silver lining in the cloud of the pandemic?
So I believe the silver lining was that I think we planned to prevent any business disruptions for sure. That's always been extremely important. It moves ourselves as an entity towards better communication, I think, and accountability on those like kind of simple matters, which definitely made it easier to do all kinds of things here. Again, like planning and other work-related activities, such as cross-training, for example, things like that. I think that's definitely been, I think, our silver lining on during this pandemic.
I'm interested to know, how did you do trust training in this time? It sounds
So trust training
really
was,
interesting.
I think, when you're super busy at all times, and I think when you have these kind of periods that are like very kind of slow, because things definitely slowed down quite a bit. Sometimes we have staff with that is very diverse regarding their skill set, and then you find that some people are more experts in one area than others, and some people are more knowledgeable in one area than others because they come from even different entities in the past, and some people know more things, more skill than others on one area. And then I think this was the time, because I was like, you know what, you have to stay busy. The way to stay busy, if we don't have many things to do because of what is happening, the slowdown, I think this is a good time for you to really talk to each other. Hey, teach me that, you know what I mean? I want to know more about this. I want to know more about that. And I was very in top of everybody about that. You know what I mean? I don't want to see anyone just lingering around.
Mm-hmm. No, that seems amazing. What a unique and creative way to learn from each other during the challenges, especially during that slow period. The next question, and I absolutely hope that business has picked up now and things should be a little bit better. What do you think will be a lasting change in strategy from this time? Has your lab needed to pivot to any virtual platforms or convert anything to kind of more remote activities? We would love to know your insights.
Yeah, so I think for us, it was very important to kind of identify and prioritize revenue opportunities, because we're like an entity that needs to generate revenue for sure, and that prompted us to launch targeted campaigns to win back some customers, developing customer experiences on education, for example, like webinars. We did launch several webinars that were very well attended. I think because of our services entail laboratory work, we usually don't have, in regards of like the ability to do virtual appointments. So everything had to be done in-house. And unfortunately, we're very fortunate that we don't require any customer visits. So the people that entered the physical building were just people that came here for work. We implemented, again, very communication, understanding of everybody. I think every employee felt that they were responsible for keeping the company open, because if one person gets sick, would be detrimental for the business. I think everybody put on their part. In regards of like how to handle the situation on COVID-19, we were taking temperatures since the second week of March, and we have taken temperatures every day up to today's date, and everybody again feels that is part of that, So, and no one wants to be the one getting sick, and put the company kind of like in a difficult position. but I think that's kind of going to be a long-lasting change within us as a company.
Mhm. Thank you. Each company and each practice has had to do so many different things to change. I feel like I am learning so much about the unique modifications that an in-house lab group like Embryotech has had to do. It is very illuminating, because some places could go virtual, but yours certainly could not. So that's a huge important maintenance of practice versus change to virtual. You just can't do that. It's not part of lab tech. So the question 4 is, if the world suddenly returned to the way it was a year ago, pre-pandemic, what would be the first thing you would do as a professional or as an individual?
I think the first thing that I will do for sure is to thank the entire staff here at the company, because everyone had been fully engaged and patient during this health crisis for sure. And because of them, they have prevented getting sick, you know what I mean? And at the end, that have helped us keep the company open and without any business disruptions whatsoever. So I think that for me I think should be the most important part. Thank the staff, because everybody has been extremely responsible and overall, I think that's definitely the most important, just the people. That's all,
Thank you. Oh, being grateful for our team is just such an important thing during this time. Thank you for that. Okay, the last question is, the pandemic has sharpened the focus and perspectives for many, and we've had to find resilience and flexibility to navigate this. Is there a discovery about anything you'd be willing to share with us? You shared a lot about the solidarity and the very intense dedication your team has had at Embryotech, and that is very inspirational. And in concluding, I and our members would like to hear where you found the resilience, flexibility, and any discovery you're willing to share. An open question.
So I think one important area has been that our staff themselves have shared, their knowledge, and they have been able to, again, cross-train each other, I know more about this, I know more about that, and they just share with each other. And that kind of like cross-training in between the employees specifically, because we needed to have things to do, have put us in a really good position, I think, to become more competitive as a company in the industry for sure. That knowledge sharing between each other. I think the other area, employee communication and collaboration, by having the current staff sharing their knowledge with their peers, for example, and discover some skills that sometimes, you can use in the future, to provide our clients new services without the need of hiring or immediate hire of new personnel immediately. I think that this was the time definitely to kind of like take into reskill and strengthen for the future, and then without any disruptions, if any other disruptions come along, I think that's definitely has been very important. I think that strategy of like kind of cross-training each other and sharing that shared knowledge, with everybody, have put us in a really good position to scale up and to the learning efforts, you know what I mean, more cost effective, you know, as a company, you know what I mean. So without many expenditures, because sometimes we're just way too busy, you know, for someone to be able to learn a skill, you have to send them somewhere, you know, to an institution or spend quite a bit of money to, you know, to get that. I think, and knowing that, you know, we have a great skill set from our own staff, you know, now everybody kind of like at the same level, but, you know, learn. That's the most important really through all these, you know, so.
Thank you. That is such a hopeful message. I just took a few notes from what you were saying because they're so hopeful and focused on the team. So collaborating, consolidating, learning from each other to be stronger, you know, during this pandemic and for anything that might face us is a very hopeful message. So thank you for your time and your support for the society. I hope that over the coming year, if it's safe, maybe at the end of 2021 or the beginning of after, that we'll be able to have an in-person meeting again. And I and we all on the executive committee hope to see you in person.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much for your time. And it's always good to support our local entities, you know, and anything that we can do to help further, just let us know. And we're here.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much again.
Okay. Bye.